Hi there, future New York State educator. In this video, I'm going to teach you how to write the third essay in your Educating All Students test so that you can pass your exam on your first or your next try. Here I am at teacherpreps.com. Follow along with me so that you can make this video more valuable, more engaging for you. What I'm going to do is I'm going to click the Find Your Exam button, and I'm going to type in Educating All Students so that I can find the corresponding test prep page. All right, now if you haven't already, make sure you get full access to this test prep by clicking the blue button that reads Get Test Prep Now. What we want to do is we want to scroll down and learn a little bit about more information for this exam. As we can see, there is 1, 1, and 1. That's a total of 3 essays that you are going to be expected to write on test day. So it's my job to help you get totally prepared so that you can pass your teacher certification teacher certification exam with ease. In this lesson, I'm going to be focusing on the third essay, which is all about students with disabilities and special learning needs. So what we want to do next is, after you have enrolled, we want to click the login button so that you go to our test prep page, scroll down to find the Educating All Students page, and here is the roadmap that gives you all the links that you need to know in order to pass, including about the test, as well as preparation strategies and tips, and then also all of the lessons that you are expected to know for your Educating All Students exam. As mentioned earlier, this lesson in particular is all about how to write your constructed responses. Another way to say that is your essay. So let's go to the essay workshop page. And let's remember, if you haven't already, make sure to watch lesson number 1 and 2 of this Educating All Students preparation program videos that I've uploaded just recently. So here we have the description of our scoring rubric that you are going to be scored upon for your exam. What we are aiming for is a score of 4. That's the best, although a score of 3 is also acceptable. All right, now what we want to do is we want to go past the diverse student populations essay. Remember, that is our first essay, and then past the second essay, which was all about English language learners, and go straight to our third essay, which is the Students with Disabilities essay. Now, in case you didn't watch lesson number 1 or 2 videos, remember or understand that here at teacherpreps.com, we have trained AI models specifically for each individual essay. That way you can actually type in your own response and get a feedback and a score so that you can check whether or not your writing skills are up to par for you to pass on your exam before you actually have to go in and take the real test. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read this essay and follow along with me so that you can interact with this video as I go through it myself. So looks like we have 3 different exhibits, exhibit 1, 2, and 3. Let's read number 1 first. Excuse me. Miss Clark teaches a 4th grade inclusive classroom at Sunnyside Elementary. Her class consists of 25 students, including 5 students who have an individualized education program, so IEP, catering to a range of disabilities such as autism spectrum disorders, dyslexia, and physical disabilities that require wheelchair accessibility. All right, so now we have a brief description of the class. Let's move on to Miss Clark's teacher journal notes. As marked, it looks like we have 2 entries, March 15th, and a couple days later, March 18th. March 15th, she writes, "Today I noticed several challenges during our group activities, particularly Mark, who has dyslexia, struggled to keep up with reading tasks, often getting frustrated. I'm reminded that while our group activities are lively and engaging for most students, they can be overwhelming for others like Mark, who might need more tailored support to participate fully." Okay, we're getting a little bit more information here from the teacher journal. And then on March 18th, she writes, "Reflecting on this week's lessons, I see a gap in how our learning materials support students with specific needs. Emma," looks like she's going to be writing about another student, Emma, who uses a wheelchair, "could not fully access some of the learning stations. It's crucial to rethink how we structure these activities to ensure all students can participate equally." Great. Now we've been giving information for 2 different students. Let's go on to the lesson plan exhibit number 3. Looks like she's talking or teaching about the water cycle. We have the educational standard, the lesson objectives, the materials that will be used, and the lesson components. For example, introduction, activity, interactive session, and conclusion. All right, now we need to be looking at our essay prompt, which gives the tasks that we need to type about right here in the AI essay grader. And it looks like we have 3 tasks to complete for this essay. Number 1 reads, identify one aspect of the draft lesson plan that would be difficult for the target student. So it looks like we either need to write about Mark or about Emma. All right, and then number 2, describe one modification you would make to the lesson plan to address this area of difficulty, okay? And then number 3, explain why this modification you described would be effective for the target student. Now, our test prep provides you with sample essays that are similar to what you should be receiving on test day. Of course, no one knows the actual essay prompt that you'll receive on exam day. However, based off the New York State official testing agency website, they clearly show essay prompts similar to the one that we've created from teacherpreps.com. And so what we want to do is we want to answer this, and we want to make sure that we thoroughly provide clear understanding of our pedagogical knowledge and information so that the test grader on test day or our test essay, right, our test essay checker will be able to effectively mark our response. So here we have number 1, identify one aspect of the draft lesson that would be difficult for the target student. Okay, I'm going to choose Mark to write about, and I'm just going to type my response right in here. The group activity of constructing a water cycle. And if you've watched lesson number 1 or 2, you'll know that I previously stated that if you accidentally click submit or you hit the enter or return key on your keyboard, this will submit your essay. And in case I'm not ready to submit my essay, what I like to do is I just copy this over here, and then I like to go to a blank document like a Google Docs or Word or Notion doc, and I actually like to type it inside there and then go back, copy and paste the response into our AI essay grader to make sure that I don't accidentally enter the response before I'm ready. So a group activity of constructing a water cycle, let's go model, could be challenging for our student named Mark, who has dyslexia. And notice how my first sentence clearly identifies the student that I'm going to be writing about and the struggle that they have in the classroom. This way, on test day, your teacher certification essay grader can clearly identify that you have marked the difficulty with the target student. Now, but don't stop there. At least write another sentence here. Mark, let's say, struggles with reading, which could, let's say, hinder his ability to follow written instructions. Sorry about that. All right, here we go. Instructions, okay? And again, remember on test day, you are not evaluated on your grammar or spelling ability. However, if you notice a mistake, try and go back and fix it. All right, so instructions, what should we write here? Follow written instructions, okay. And participate, sorry about that, participate effectively in the group's discussion and planning phases. All right, so that is me writing about task number 1. And what I recommend for you to do as a test tip is to tab down or hit the return key so that you can show your testing scorer that the first paragraph answers task number 1 and the second paragraph answers task number 2. Let's go back and read task number 2. Describe one modification you would make to the lesson plan to address this area of difficulty. All right, so to make the lesson more accessible for Mark, I would incorporate, let's say, more visual aids. I think that would help and step-by-step demonstrations. Remember, using modeling is a highly effective way to teach students in the classroom. Demonstrations into the group activity. Okay, I like that. Now let's use a little bit more space and show our AI essay grader in this case, or on test day, your testing administrator, that you can dive deeper into this topic. So instead of relying solely on written instructions, using diagrams and real-time demonstrations of each step in constructing, and then go back, make sure that you are using the actual language from the essay prompt that they gave you. They were talking about the water cycle, so I want to talk about the water cycle. Water cycle model would help Mark understand the task, let's say, even better, or just better. All right, now that is me completing task number 2. And what I want to do is I just want to go back quickly, read task number 3, explain why this modification you described would be effective for the target student, who is Mark. All right, so remember, it's our time to showcase our understanding of pedagogical information, knowledge, and effective instruction in the classroom to the scorer. So I can say, if I recommended using visual aids, now how would that be effective for Mark? So visual aids play a, let's say, important role in supporting students with dyslexia. Sorry about that spelling here. Dyslexia, there we go, by reducing the reliance on textual information, which can be a, say, significant barrier for students with dyslexia. Okay, and let's go another sentence or two. Demonstrations provide a clear and visual example of what needs to be done, allowing Mark to engage more fully with the activity. I like how this is turning out. This modification, let's go further. This modification not only aids in understanding the task, but also helps Mark to retain the information being learned. This will, let's say, enhance his learning experience and participation in class. Okay, so I think this is simple but effective. Right here I see, once you're finished, make sure you go back, double check for any errors, especially if you still have time on test day. So this is discussion. All right, looks like everything else is ready. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select all, and I'm going to copy. I'm going to go back over to Teacher Prep's test prep, go back and simply right click and paste into the AI essay grader. As I always say, moment of truth, click the submit button and let's see what score I get. Remember, 4 is the best. Ooh, I got a 3. Remember, if you haven't already watched lesson 1 or 2, our AI essay graders are tough, which is what you want. Just like if you've ever taken a teacher certification exam before, the graders do not give you an easy top score, which would be 4. So let's see what we got. I got a score of 3. Feedback says your response effectively identifies a specific challenge for Mark, which is good, in dyslexia following written instructions. Now, right here is what I need to do. To deepen your engagement, consider providing more specific examples of visual aids. Okay, so I said, let's use visual aids, and it looks like the grader agrees with me, but I should have said which ones, like a Venn diagram or a map or something like that. And demonstrations could be incorporated into the lesson plan. I totally agree with this, and in the future I will be sure to actually identify which visual aid I'm specifically talking about, and then also to link it back to the teacher notes to show that I am not just giving my opinion, but I'm actually building off of the exhibits that were previously given. So there you go. It is your turn. Make sure that you go to teacherpreps.com so that you can make sure to pass your teacher certification exam on your next try. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, and I will see you in future lessons. Great luck on preparing for your Educating All Students exam. I know you've got this. Good luck, and I'll see you in the next lesson.